Daniel Hannan lashed out at the EU for their bizarre Brexit demands on BBC Newsnight as Boris Johnson gets ready to head out to Brussels for last-minute negotiations with Ursula von der Leyen. The former MEP was featured on last night's episode of Newsnight where he was asked whether he favoured a no-deal Brexit. The nightly BBC show came after the Prime Minister and European Commission President agreed to hold in-person talks in the coming days in an effort to thrash out significant differences. The UK's transition period for leaving the EU will end on January 1, with hopes of an agreement fading as fishing, governance and level playing field remain as deal breakers. Mr. Hannan said, "It must be better to have a deal with our immediate neighbours," but questioned the EU's demands on access to British waters and governance. He said, "I am just constantly bewildered by hearing that countries somehow trade with each other out of kindness, that having a zero tariffs regime is somehow a favour to somebody else rather than a favour to yourself and your own consumers. We are negotiating zero-tariff trade deals with Australia and New Zealand at the moment. No one is suggesting that there needs to be an element of oversight over each other's regulations in order to do that, and the reason we're doing is not just that we like the Australians, it's because it's good for both of us. The EU is not prepared frankly to take that attitude in the way that it does with everyone else." Newsnight host Emily Maitlis then asked Mr. Hannan whether the UK needs to trade sovereignty in exchange for a bilateral trade deal with the bloc, which the former MEP rubbished. He said, "That is emphatically not what we are doing, because after the rejection of the Salzburg terms when we were told, look if you want to leave it's got to be on the simple Canada-type deals, we only looked at extant deals that the EU has already done. With South Korea, with Japan, with Canada. We did not ask for things that went beyond them, and so we're not asking for anything unprecedented. The EU isn't claiming that we're asking for something so unusual that it needs to have sovereignty. Their argument bizarrely is that they need to have some oversight of our standards because we're nearby.